Morning, guys. Are we okay? I've been having a little bit of an idea, and I bang on quite a lot about conversation and how we should be talking and how we should be exploring conversations with others and what that sense of holding space really means. And I mean, it's a bit of a personal drive for me now. Without going into too much detail, I've been touched by something recently, a little bit suicide, and it's made me really sit up and think what this means for myself and for others and for other people and I suppose that wider mission and it actually it's all stems from kind of that same place, and as much as I have these various different things that I'm flying off onto, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and post kind of following certain themes, it all roots from this sense of um, space and connection and relationships with ourselves and with other people. And I fear actually that there's so much help out there for people in areas that they may not expect to find it, so you don't necessarily look for it. Or my own sort of relation, I'd had a wonderful session. I'm going to say session because that's what I'm going to call it. I went for a tattoo and I sat down with a young lad. I've never been in the studio before, and I sat down. I'm not covered in tattoos. I got, there you are, Fight the Course, Mammoth Alliance on there. But I sat down in the studio with a young artist who I can pretty much say held space for me for 2 hours, and I left with a little bit of pain. But actually, it unites that sense of therapy. There was pain, and it was uncomfortable at times, and there was moments of real sort of. I mean, for me, it's visceral pain. It was an agony, and rather than that internalized sense, but it was painful, and actually, I left feeling so light and valued, and I had wonderful conversations with Nick over at Nice Guy Tattoos in Preston. Like it was as if I was sat with a counsellor. I mean, granted, he was dragging glass through my arm at the time, but it really highlighted for me actually that there isn't a model that fits everybody. And when it comes to our senses of well-being and I suppose therapy or therapeutic spaces, we all get it from different places. Some get it from the gym, some get it from the likes of, I mean, 2 hours lying on the bed, having a conversation. It's very intimate. There's two of you in a room. It is an intimate space. Um, you have therapy, you have online groups. That's what we're trying to build here with this platform. Community groups, even religious um, sort of communities. There's therapy sits everywhere. It's friends down the pub, drink responsibly. Um, Walking for me is another one. Side of a mountain, the library, bit of solitude. I mean, all of these things, they all actually they look different for every one of us. So my idea is I'm not conventional. I would have been the guy that I suppose 5 6 years ago would have laughed and said therapy's not for me. Now it's one of the most valuable spaces that I find myself sat in, and that came from a bit of an understanding, a little bit learning some of these concepts, the Rogerian concepts, and some of the wider therapeutic concepts. Sparked a love and a passion for learning more. Diving into the psychology side of things has broadened up that social aspect and all those other factors, as well as the own sort of internalized belief structures. And it has been a really powerful experience for me. But it's not one that I ever thought I'd go had a journey I ever thought I'd find myself on. It's also something I'd laughed at 5 years ago. I'd have laughed. and I've still got friends now that even knowing what I do and support me in this. If I mentioned the thought of going and sitting in a room and speaking with a therapist to work through some, some things, they'd laugh, and it's a stigma, and unfortunately, it's a stigma that I find really isolating and dangerous, at the same time. So I wanted to put this little video together. I wanted I wanted to show you that we're not, therapy isn't necessarily some doctoral style guy lying you down on a couch and picking out the untanglings of the confusing brain. It actually is it's conversation, it's talk. So, yeah, I had to get that out and I had to say it. I'm considering, and feel free to comment if anybody watches through these. That's fine. Feel free to comment somewhere down here. I don't know which platform it's going on, but I'm considering setting up a check-in group. Basically, I'll jump on, I'll hold a space, I'll hold it open, and for a period of time, I'll come together with a time, but I'll put that up on the platform, and I'll open the space up, and you can drop in and drop out, check in, let us know what's going on for you this week, let us know what's going on for you in the moment, share what you need to share, or even drop in and listen to other people share and sort of explore some of that vulnerability for somebody else, and that kind of hopefully opens the door for you to show that yourselves or others that vulnerability isn't necessarily a bad thing. We try and protect ourselves from it, and we quite often are scared to step into vulnerability, but it's not all that bad. It's quite a powerful space. But yeah, so let me know if anybody's interested. Drop me a message. I'll certainly pick it up at some point throughout the day. If people have any ideas on times, let me know. But I think that we could create a really valuable space there, and I think that would be quite a powerful thing. And I hope that people realising that they can reach out and that there is somewhere for them to step into, and even just to talk about what crisps they've had for the dinner. It's just having a space to know that you're welcomed and that people are going to listen to you. So that's going to be my next one. Let me know. Be free of charge. I wouldn't. It costs nothing. It's just a great way for people to connect and start having a few conversations. Peace and love, guys. Appreciate you all.